Hello and welcome to our show. This is a special edition of Girls Trip with LaVerne and Steffanie. I'm Steffanie Rivers.
And I'm LaVerne.
How's it going, ma'am?
Great.
So we thought that we would want to do this special because of some recent news. But before we get to that recent news, you might be joining us on joining our Tricast. We are Tricasting on Facebook Live, YouTube, and LinkedIn. So we want to welcome you to the show. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe so that when we post, you'll be the first to know. And so, having said that, a couple of days ago, LaVerne, you texted me and said, "Hey, Snoop Dogg is asking for prayers for his mom," and I immediately went and looked because we have worked with his mom. Her name is Beverly Tate, and when we were working with her, we knew her as Beverly Brodus Green. It's been a few years, but in our request to create shows that uplift women and families in the United States, we have started to produce shows through our company, Women of Ruth Productions. And Beverly Tate, now as she is known, was one of our cast members that we had under contract. So where did you see this information initially, and have you heard any updates on his mom that you want to share with us, LaVerne?
It was just trending on Yahoo and one of the news feeds. And no, he just asked for prayer. And of course, I thought of her because she is such a lovely person. So I just wanted to share it with you, so we can be praying for her recovery for whatever it is,
Correct. We don't know exactly what's going on, but we do want to send out, and I did stop and I did pray for his mom's health and for God's covering of her. And so that is what led us to have Miss Brodus Tate on our show as one of our cast members, because she is an evangelist and has worked. So we were working with a group of women pastors, and as a matter of fact, kind of explain what our goal was, LaVerne, for that show. And I did pull up some pictures and some logos that we had of our show, as well as we had a big red carpet event to promote the show. So I want to get that ready while you go over what it was, what our goal was for this.
Well, Ladies in the Pulpit was to bring to light women and their journey in ministry. We often hear about men and their journey of being a leader, but what about what the women go through trying to be a leader? So we put out a casting call, and we came up with a crew of women that were each dynamic and talented in their own right. And to hear their perspectives and their journey to day-to-day life in ministry was really compelling stories. We also put on a production party that was a red carpet party, invited some who's who there. Actually, one of Alex Haley's great niece, was one of our special guests. And I'm talking about Alex Haley, the author. So nevertheless, we were excited to be able to share who these women are and what they do, and their abilities to mobilize other women as well. And we just happened to have the pleasure to meet Beverly, and she is another great woman of God. And so we're excited about just knowing that, she's in our prayers and that she will overcome whatever it is she's facing.
And so, having said that we put together, we traveled all over. We brought about 5 women who were involved in ministry, and we brought them to Dallas, Texas, and we essentially did we had a production. We put together promotions and production, and so I was able to find one of the promotional videos that we produced. So I'm going to play that so people can see what it was that we had put together.
Okay.
I'm going to try to play it.
The image of women on reality TV needs a facelift. Despite the high ratings on some shows that portray women as catfighting, backbiting, and insecure, the time has come for real women to stand up. Ladies in the pulpit, it's about love and marriage. It's about charisma. And there's always drama. Their story is your story. But you don't know their commitment and sacrifice until you see this show. Celebrities and behind-the-scenes veterans say Ladies in the Pulpit is a hit.
And I think that's, if that's your idea, you should go with that.
That would be a show about women pastors. Is that a good idea? Would you be interested in putting that on?
Yeah. So if you've got something, let me know.
Ladies in the Pulpit, it's about family. It's about courage. It's about time.
So that was one of the promotional videos that we put together. And we had, when the ladies came to Dallas, Texas for the red carpet event, we had a media blitz, and we had a lot of radio interviews set up, and we went around. And then we had, during the red carpet event that we hosted in Arlington, Texas, outside of Dallas, we had just a performance, a venue, and we highlighted the ladies. So it's an awesome thing. And here's the thing that we can't necessarily prove, but that it's kind of like it goes with the territory. And that is when we approached and when we shared our idea with a production company, you have to sign what's called a non-disclosure agreement. And when you sign that non-disclosure agreement, essentially the agreement says you're sharing your idea with us. We're not promising you anything. In fact, we could have already had this idea in motion before you showed it to us. So essentially, you are putting your idea out there with the understanding that they might steal your idea. And then they can fall back on, well, we already had that idea in motion. And so soon after we shared our idea with the production company, that's when you started seeing the pastors of LA, pastors of this city, pastors of that city. And so it's like, wait a minute, that is so near to what our idea was. And we even presented in not just the idea, but a promotional video, and still you get no recognition for an idea that probably was yours, that you can't prove was yours. And I think that's what happened to us. So now we are so protective of our little baby ideas. It's like sometimes your little baby idea doesn't get a chance to grow and flourish because somebody might steal it.
It do happen.
It happens. So we have had some ideas along the way, LaVerne, and this is just letting me know when things like this happen. And you might look at what we put together, that promotional video, and say, well, you were talking about as a matter of fact, I want to bring up one of the logos that we had, and I'll show you that momentarily. But when you think about women pastors, ladies in the pulpit, you might think that's not exciting, but that it could be just as exciting, if not more exciting, than men pastors, because women you have to be a wife, you have to be a mother, you have to hold yourself in a certain regard in the church, in the eyes of others. And so you have so many things, so many responsibilities that come with being a woman in the pulpit, that in itself lends itself to some type of drama.
And it does. I mean, you got people in the pulpit doing the same thing, people not in the pulpit. Then you got them cussing, you got them drinking, you got them homongering. They doing the same thing. But yet still now, when it come down to church, they straighten up and they say God is merciful, and we know he is. And God is forgiving, we know he is. And they want you to accept it. And as a person that love God, you got to accept it and you got to forgive. And they keep it moving.
Yes, definitely. So there are so many challenges. Or do you think it's easier now to have an idea and get it and have it? As a matter of fact, we produced 6 episodes of Women Pastors, Ladies in the Pulpit, and they're posted on YouTube, as a matter of fact, and we have some other productions that we have in place right now. But what do you think, is it more challenging these days to, based on your knowledge of the industry, is it more challenging to get things mainstream picked up, or because there are so many platforms that it might be easier? What's your take on that?
It's kind of depending on what your goal is, your demographics. Some things is easier to debut or pitch to networks, and if it's unique and would fall in what they're looking for, it can be easier. But then it can also be challenging because they may already have, like you say, a certain type of concept, and it clash. So it puts you back where, square one, or you got to start over and find someone that would take what you are offering. And you got to have versatility and quality. And it's a number of factors that play, but you have to have a determination and just keep moving forward, because it is a lot of companies and there's a lot of new ones coming that's looking for content, new companies that's debuting, production companies, and they're looking for content. So you just have to keep looking. But yes, it can be very challenging.
Well, I was trying to pull up one of our logos, but I can't pull that up. But we had created, and we essentially had just like, and it's strange, I guess once you get a formula, people just go with that formula. But just the same as a network has started, they call it the Housewives of, and they go to a certain city, and then they take it to another city and another city. Our goal was to have the ladies in the pulpit of a certain city, and then moving into another city. And we had so many interested women pastors, ladies in the pulpit, evangelists, just women in ministry that were willing to be a part of what we were doing, and still are. So we've decided to reinvestigate, re-research what we could do, because there are so many platforms out there. And that's the only idea that I'm comfortable with putting out there right now, because we've already got, like I said, 6 episodes already posted on YouTube. And so they're out there to see. And so nobody can essentially say, oh, that was my original idea, and move forward, because it's already out there. But we've got other projects out there that I think, when it comes to women in America, or just women in general, our image is at stake right now. Our image and how we carry ourselves and how people think about us. And there's this narrative that women are promiscuous, that women we only are willing to do certain things, or we're only presented in a certain light, when we are so versatile, and some of us are so virtuous that we are overlooked for other types of women who people might consider to be more interesting, or more newsworthy, or more, what's the word that means marketable? That's the word. More marketable if we present you in a certain way, when that's not necessarily who we are. So our production company, Women of Ruth Productions, we are looking to present the alternative view of a woman, and that we are just as beautiful and interesting and worthy as these other images that have been out there. So that's what our goal is, and I think it's time for us to recommit ourselves to that. What do you think?
I like it. And it's true. It is true. And that is the power of ladies in the pulpit. Yes, we can show the negative side of women, but we can also show the strength of women and what they have achieved and what they're trying to achieve and their goals and their ambitions. We all have faults and shortcomings. We know that. But we won't relish in the downfalls or the mistakes. We want to relish in the empowerment of women.
I agree. So I think I've been able to pull up. Here's was one of our logos that we created, or that you actually created, LaVerne. Do you remember that logo?
Of course. I have so many variations. Yes, I have a folder.
So that was one of our logos, and we had so many more. And here's one of the latest photos of Snoop's mom, Evangelist Brodus Green, and I'm not showing it. Sorry. I thought I was, but at any rate, so she just turned 70 last month. So we do want to just give her our well wishes as we move forward. And maybe this might, sometimes when things happen, we don't realize that in God's time is when is not God's time at that time. And so maybe it wasn't time then, but it could be time now. And we can just revisit it and see, especially since we've already got the concept for that show. It might not be the same cast members, but it could be something that could work with a different set of cast members. So some of the things that we did face was, we had sponsors, but then, women want an allowance, a travel allowance, or women want wardrobe allowance. And in our previous show, we talked about maybe it's time for us to look for cast members who might think differently about how they're presented, or that might not be as important to them, what the wardrobe. or maybe it is. So we could just be in a position where we can show them it's their time now to shine and move forward. I remember talking with one of our friends of the show, if we could call her, and we've had her on May. I want to say May Olasola, but I know it's not her last name anymore. But we were discussing with her one of the storylines was the manager of one of our cast members and the issues that we were having with him. It was like all about him and not about her. And the only way we could contact her is to go through him. And it was like, okay, is she not her own individual person? Why do we always have to go through you? Because that was kind of the question. How was she being treated in this business relationship? Why do some men try to put themselves at the forefront of every situation and block any benefit to the woman, and in this instance, a potential cast member? So it was just all the way around. We could see that if we get this show picked up, oh, it's going to be some drama.
It will be fun, for real.
For real. So having said that, we just wanted to take this time to let everyone know that we are thinking of Snoop's mom and whatever she's going through or the family is going through. We want to let them know our thoughts and prayers are with them and with her. And if you find yourself in a situation where your lifestyle or something that you want to offer the world has not been acknowledged, and you think that Women of Ruth Productions might be able to help you to shine a spotlight on that, I'm going to put this in here. Our contact information, Women of Ruth Productions, and our 800 number where you can reach out to us at any time. Oops. All righty. Now, what other subjects are we working on for future shows, LaVerne?
The Greenwood Project. We will be sharing more about what happened in Tulsa. That's one of the things we're going to be talking about. Some of, being able to travel more now, and we'll be able to get back on the road, and we'll be able to share more from our own perspective, because Girls Trip is about not just one particular subject, but many subjects that affect women and what's trending. And so we look forward to that. And we hope and we wish all of the women that have worked with us well and much success. And some have published books and moved on and done very well. And we're just excited about where we're going in 21 and 22.
All right, ma'am. Sounds like a winner. So that's it. And we will see you guys next time on Girls Trip with LaVerne and Steffanie.
Bye.
Bye. I'm going to end with our logo.
All right.
Oh, I took it out. All right. Talk to you later.